Blueprint to the Heart is exactly the kind of film that I love, but it could have gone either way. This kind of film is either done really well, and it's quite fresh and surprising, or it's very cliche and over the top and just not very enjoyable. Since this one was produced by Real One Entertainment, I had very high hopes, and I am very pleased to say that it did not disappoint. This was released in 2020, directed by Jason James, written by John Dion and Sean Fine. And this stars Laura Mitchell as our protagonist Tiffany, and Crystal Balint as Liz. And we also have Nelson Wong as supporting character Andy. I'm just a very big fan of any film where Nelson Wong plays a supporting character. He always brings a smile to my face. He's brilliant. So in this film, Tiffany is the head, or she heads up a renovation show where she gives a home a makeover, but it also focuses on renovating an old piece of furniture or some kind of furnishing, making something old something new, and incorporating that into the decor. And unfortunately, the network is aware that the ratings are dropping, so she has to change the format of the show so that she's not just giving a home a makeover and an old piece of furniture a renovation, she is giving a lifestyle change to somebody. And the person who the network wants for the first episode is a character called Brooks, played by Dennis Andres. And Tiffany actually met Brooks on a recording of the show originally. They didn't necessarily hit it off, their personalities kind of clashed. She's slightly reluctant. Brooks is also slightly reluctant, but the network insists, so they have to work together to produce this first episode where Tiffany is giving Brooks a makeover and his home. And he doesn't really want either of those things to happen. So is this going to work well? Will they both cooperate with each other's differences? I won't say what happens, but I will say it's very delightful. I was particularly pleased at Tiffany's character because, to begin with, she kind of seemed a bit annoying, or it felt like she could have the opportunity to be annoying depending on which way the narrative went in her favour or otherwise. So I was pleased with her, but I really loved Brooks, and that's why this worked for me. Brooks as a character is amazing. He is easy to get on with, he's very likeable, and he is definitely a really great subject for the first episode of this new show. I thoroughly enjoyed watching his character change. That's not necessarily in line with what Tiffany was doing, but like any good story, there is character development. And I think we learn a lot about him, and that's spread out as well. So the pacing is really good. It's not as... On the one hand, we see more of the production of the episode than we do in similar films, but at the same time, we don't see as much of the house renovation as we do. And I think that's because it definitely is focusing on Brooks as a character. The makeover of the home is kind of secondary, and it works really well. I really enjoyed it. I'm not going to say too much more about it because I don't want to spoil it, but I will say I really recommend it. The narrative, as I said, was the kind of narrative that I love when it's done well. Definitely was done well here, so I'm really pleased with that. The characters are great, the casting is brilliant. I'm very, very fond of Brooks. Brooks as a character just kind of stole my heart a little bit. I think it's got enough drama to make it exciting, but ultimately it's good fun, it's funny, it's heartwarming, it's heartfelt. Blueprint to the Heart could have gone either way, but I'm really pleased to say that it was pretty great.